Okay. So so this new guy, okay, his name's Nate, and I gotta look over my shoulder. So
Goodness.
I think um
That he
he
sucks.
knows one of the other guys. I don't know from where, but he's like a small town Idaho farmer boy. So he listens to country music, which is bad enough. Um,
No, don't even
Okay.
say it. I
Yeah,
have
No,
to
I
be
it
don't
your
know if we
is.
opposition
are.
here.
It's bad. It's bad.
No, no.
his his is okay, guys. Believe me.
If that's your defining
Um,
characteristic, it's
It would be
bad.
like Florida Georgia line or something.
Florida Georgia
no.
Line
It's
is hype, bro.
So this is what I'll say. So I'm sleeping one night, okay, and like it's pretty cold here outside. Um, but this one night I'm like in a t-shirt or whatever, my PJs, sleeping away, and but I'm not under all my covers or whatever. So it's a pretty comfy temperature. Um, but I tend to stay up fairly late, right? And so as I'm just laying in bed or whatever, staying up, I start to get like a little warmer. So I like take a foot out from my blanket. Pretty soon I'm just on top of my bed because it's getting pretty warm. I fall asleep, right? And at 4 in the morning, I wake up and I'm just drenched in sweat. My room's cooking. I'm like, what is going on? I've never been this warm in this room before.
You've never
And
been this moist in your room.
yeah,
Um,
but like I like go and I like close the vent or whatever
Yeah.
in my bedroom trying to block the heat or whatever. And I think the next morning I go out there to do some laundry or something like that, and that's by where the thermostat is. And it was set to like 82 degrees or
what?
something like that.
Mm.
And I'm like, who
This man's a
who sets it to
reptile.
82?
It's because
He's cold.
See,
He's
this is the
cold-blooded.
real
it's so
conspiracy.
cold.
Who's
Cold-blooded man.
forget about the lizard people running the government. The lizard people are running the AC in this place.
Bjorn,
Um,
they're in your house.
they're
Run.
in help. No. So I like set it down or whatever, and then later, um, I woke up like early for something, and I go out there. And this dude's sitting on the couch, well, sleeping on the couch. Um, and since then, I've seen him out there a couple more times. So this dude just doesn't even like sleep in his room on an actual bed. He's just decided to sleep on the couch, and the central room tends to be a little cooler than the rest of the house. So this dude just like friggin' he's like, yeah, I'll sleep on the couch. And it's colder than the rest of the room. So he cranks the AC and melts us all
Oh
out, right?
my
Dude, that
gosh.
sucks. I feel
No.
bad for his roommate, but I mean,
Mm.
you
Yeah.
you get your own room, so it's worth
Yeah.
it to
I've
make
got
him
my own.
suffer.
It's okay. A little bit.
So what's the
Anywho,
thermostat at now?
like 70.
Okay, good.
Dude, turn
That's
it
good.
lower than that.
If
68.
it
68.
were up to me, it's kind of warm for me right now. I'm not like sweating or anything, but if it were up to me, I'd have it at 69. I think that's like the perfect temp.
I agree. Dude, every day just put it down one
Nice.
and then just keep going until he finishes.
Yeah, frog in a boiling pot or whatever.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, it's not too bad. It's 50 degrees.
Yeah, for real. No, I also discovered though, because I'm in here in my room, I'm playing games with Braden and Andrew a bit, and um, like I was talking to one of my other roommates or whatever, and he was telling me how he went on a date with some girl, and she was asking about his roommates, all of us, and um, she was like, yeah, there's so and so here, there's so and so here, um, and he was like, yeah, there's seven of us. There's this guy, Bjorn. He likes to play video games, and I'm like, oh, is that who I am? I'm the guy who
You're the
plays video
Is
gamer.
games
that
now.
what I do?
The guy stuck in his
Yeah,
room.
yeah. So I think I'm gonna be spending more time like outside of my room. It's like I'm out like at campus and stuff, like doing school and stuff. Um, but yeah, when I come back, it's like I gotta do my homework. I gotta talk with the boys, play games. So
Make yourself
I'll be
scarce.
switching that up. Make myself scarce. That's right. Anywho, back to the theme of the episode. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen
For a presentation.
Oh,
for
this is gonna be good.
presentation. Okay. I don't know if there's a way where I can see our faces and do the presentation.
Yeah,
So
probably not.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. So bear with us, all of our loyal viewers. All right. Sharing screen. Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
So
okay.
I can still I can still see you guys. So but the recording won't see us.
that's
Anywho,
fine.
okay,
I like who it's by.
here here is my presentation.
By
Nazi
me.
Antarctica by me. Okay.
Nice.
So before we begin, who has heard of the Nazi Antarctica theory? That's not what it's actually called.
Not I.
Should I raise my hand?
I'm raising my hand.
Yeah, raise your hand. Everyone
Raise your
Yes.
hand in the Zoom meeting.
I have.
Careful with how you raise your hand. Anyways, all right. So we have Nazi Antarctica theory. Okay, so some background. So Antarctica, from what I could see, was kind of discovered and explored between the late 1700s and 1820. This is probably like, the European perspective on it. So James Cook crosses the Atlantic Circle. He didn't go to actual Antarctica, but he crossed the Antarctic Circle. Russian ships see it, the coast in 1820, and a bunch of countries after they found it decided to go and check out this new continent that was discovered. One of them being Norway. So Norwegian claims.
Oh
So
my.
on the left, there's a Norwegian man, in case you needed to know what they look like.
You should have done a picture of yourself.
If only.
Beautiful.
Indeed. So on the left here is Antarctica, and the way they divided it up is, so they don't own like certain regions, like, how we normally think of them. They all kind of go out from the South Pole, but this red section is Norway's claim. It's called
Wow.
Queen Maud Land or whatever, and I think that little island is I forget the name of. Oh yeah, Peter One Island or something like that, or Peter the First. Anywho,
Peter's one.
yeah. So in the 1930s, they Norway claims a big section of Antarctica.
Yeah.
But then, sorry, but then, we all know what happened in 1939. Hopefully, we all know. I'd be disappointed if you didn't. So in 1939, kind of at the beginning of World War II. Actually, I don't know if this was before the war started or after the war had already begun.
Can you pronounce the ship name, please?
I think it's pronounced the
Schwabenland.
Schwabenland or something like that.
You have to
I don't
say
speak German.
like a
So
German.
The MS Schwabenland.
I like it.
So it's this boat. This is a picture of the actual ship. So it's got like these planes that can be launched off the back to explore. And the official reason for this expedition was to secure German whaling in the area, kind of because a lot of European countries relied on whale oil at the time. So they sent a ship here to do that. And the official reports say that they were only there for, I think, a month, I think is what it says. So a very short period of time. However, that may not be the case. So this was a military expedition. And people propose that the Schwabenland was actually sent to start kind of a base of operations in the Antarctic for Nazi Germany. And they actually did claim a section of that Norwegian territory. So if I go back, can you guys see my mouse or whatever?
Yeah,
Or,
yeah.
okay, so if you can see my mouse, kind of this area around here, I think is what became New Schwabia. So the section that they claimed, they named it after the ship. So New Schwabia is kind of the coastal area that they claimed. And the base that they set up, according to the reports, because the official one says that they were just whaling in the area, doesn't it says that they weren't there long enough to set up a base of operations. But these people who are proponents of this, holy moly, did you hear that?
What was that?
I don't know.
Nice.
Some big boy
Continue.
outside. Anyways, this base is called base 211. I was gonna get a picture of base 211. Or like an artist's depiction because there's no photographs because there's a top secret Nazi base. Anywho, they set up base 211. Oh no, this is the picture. This is the picture I found for base 211.
That's fake,
Nice.
right?
Oh,
That's fake.
nice. No,
It's
that's
it's
real.
it's real, guys. Trust me, bro.
That's exactly what it looked like.
So the reasons, so this was on the coastal part of Antarctica, right? And so this would serve as kind of a U-boat base. They could hide under the ice, that sort of thing. And one of the things, if you're a fan of the Hitler not dying in Germany theory, then it is likely that he probably would have stopped here on his way to Argentina, or at least something like that. But as the Nazis tend to do, they were experimenting with new technology and things like that. And some also claim that Nazis were using this to claim a portion of or an entrance to the center of the earth. Because there's a theory that the earth is hollow and that there's a kind of utopian society living underneath earth. And they're aware of us, but we aren't aware of them. And
We should, sorry to interrupt, but
No, you're good.
we should do a episode on that.
There's
That's a really good
the
one.
so it's called Agartha, I think. The Agartha theory goes deep, no pun intended there. But hey, shut up, Brayden. Anyways, so one of the claims is that they used this base to secure an entrance to Agartha, and they made contact with these people. So after World War One or after World War Two, sorry, there was still kind of holdouts of Nazi territory, including Base 211 in New Schwabia. And there were multiple operations carried out by the Allies in Antarctica, military operations. The most well known is definitely Operation High Jump, which we'll talk about. And this is kind of the thing that got me started on this whole conspiracy theory. But first is this Operation Tabarin, I think is how you say it, that was put on by the British. So I'll just read this. This is the official Wikipedia description. So it was a code name for a secret British expedition to the Antarctic during World War II, which ended in the expedition ended in 1946. Conducted by the Admiralty on behalf of the Colonial Office. Its primary objective was to strengthen British claims on sovereignty of the British territory of the Falkland Island dependencies, to which Argentina and Chile had made counterclaims since the outbreak of the war. This was done by establishing permanently occupied bases, carrying out administrative activities such as postal services, undertaking scientific research, and then other science stuff. So that's the official thing, that they were trying to secure the Falkland Islands, which, if you don't know, kind of the weird spine that comes off of Antarctica, comes pretty
Mhm.
close to the southern tip of South America, and just to the east of that is this group of islands that the British control. They
Yeah.
actually later
Yep.
would fight a war against Argentina over control of the Falkland Islands.
Mhm.
So that's the official reason. But as we know, thanks to my presentation, the Nazis were in Antarctica at the time. And so Operation Tiburon was one of the operations put out by the Allies to try and take down this base that the Nazis had established. Um, Following that, Operation High Jump, I chose this picture because they used the helicopter from the thing. Um, so this was post World War II, and the Nazis are still holding out at this point, and we'll
Mhm.
kind of get into why they probably held out against the British. Um, but this was a huge expedition. I don't have the numbers um, right in front of me, um, but like the numbers um, for Operation High Jump were kind of crazy. Um,
I could search that while you
oh,
continue.
no, I
You
just
want to
got it
look
pulled
that up?
up.
Oh, okay.
47,000 men, 13 ships, and 33 aircraft were involved in Operation High Jump. And this was
Wow.
officially was a training exercise to train the military in Arctic conditions, um, while also establishing techniques for maintaining air bases on ice and stuff. Um, but as with all of this, that's what the official story is. Um, but that could be false. Um, and here's why. So Admiral Byrd, so this is the guy who was in charge of this task force. He had explored Antarctica in the past. He was an explorer and also um, a military man. I think he was involved in both world wars. So by this point, after World War II, very accomplished and stuff. But he there's a journal or a diary that is apparently kind of hush hush, but that got leaked. So take this with a grain of salt, but it could be um, not true or it could be true. Like if this is his actual diary, then this would be pretty crazy. So I'll read a little bit for you. It might be boring if here I'll stop sharing the screen for a sec. Um, I'll bring this over so I can read it. Okay, so the way that he has this set up is in hours, and I'll skip through it a little bit. So 8 in the morning. So he goes on this expedition, this plane, I think with two other people. Um, so they 7:30 radio check. Um, then 8:30 they're flying, but there's some slight turbulence. Um, he says at 9:10 he says vast ice and snow below. Note coloration of yellowish nature and disperse in a linear pattern. Altering course for better examination of this color pattern below. Note reddish or purple color also. Then also at 9:10, both magnetic and gyro compasses begin to gyrate and wobble. We are unable to hold our heading by instrumentation. Take bearing with sun compass, yet all seems well. The controls are seemingly slow to respond and of sluggish quality. There is no indication of icing. He sees a mountain after that. 9:49. 29 minutes elapsed flight time from the first sighting of the mountains. It is no illusion. There are mountains, and consisting of a small range that I've never seen before.
Uh,
Um,
can I
yeah,
interject real quick?
yeah,
I mean, wouldn't your compass be going crazy if you're at this whole like?
that is a fair point. That is a fair point.
Like,
But they're
wouldn't it,
not
like, I
they're
wonder
not
how
above
wide
the
that area
South
is.
Pole
Like,
yet, though.
okay,
But
okay.
that could
So
have
where,
something to do with
what
it.
kind of, okay, interesting.
So I will continue.
Okay.
9:55. They are at 29,000 or 2,900 feet, encountering strong turbulence. Okay, at 10 o'clock, we are crossing over the small mountain range and still proceed northward as best as we can be ascertained, or as best as can be ascertained. Beyond the mountain range is what appears to be a valley with a small river or stream running through the center portion. There should be no green valley below. Something is definitely wrong and abnormal here. We should be over ice and snow. To the port side are great forests growing on the mountain slopes. Our navigation instruments are still spinning. The gyroscope is oscillating back and forth. And let's see. Okay.
So it's confirmed the Nazis defrosted Antarctica.
Yes. No. Okay. So this
They
is where
just used
things.
a lot. Sorry, but they
No,
just
you're
had a
good.
bunch of dudes walking with flamethrowers and
Just melting it all.
just melted it all off. Okay, sorry.
Was
Go
in a
ahead.
giggly mood.
Okay. I'm gonna skip ahead
Sorry.
a little bit.
This is really fascinating, actually.
So he goes on, he says he gives more detail about the valley. He sees like a mammoth-like animal down there. They're at 1,000 feet altitude, and they can't see the sun anymore. He says at 10:30 that the external temperature is indicating 74 degrees Fahrenheit and that their radio is not functioning. And then at 11:30, he says that the countryside is more level and normal, if I may use that word. Ahead, we spot what seems to be a city. This is possible. And at this point is his first mention of he sees these aircraft. He says aircraft seems light and oddly buoyant. Or no, this is yeah, so this is his aircraft, but he says aircraft seems light and oddly buoyant. The controls refuse to respond. Off our port and starboard wings are a strange type of aircraft. So he's seeing other aircraft alongside. He says they are closing rapidly alongside. They are disc shaped and have a radiant quality to them. They are close enough now to see the markings on them. It is a type of swastika. This is fantastic. Where are we? What has happened? I tug at the controls again. They will not respond. We are caught in an invisible vice grip of some type. Our 11:35. Our radio crackles and a voice comes through in English with what perhaps is a slight Nordic or Germanic accent. The message is, welcome, Admiral, to our domain. We shall land you in exactly 7 minutes. Relax, Admiral. You are in good hands. So
So they
I'm just
just
gonna.
sucked him in, and he's just he
More or
can't do
less.
nothing.
So I'm
So
gonna
we'll be right back. Just 1 second.
I'm gonna summarize everything just really quickly since I've gone on for pretty long. So, anyways, he meets these people, and keep in mind this is after World War II. He meets with this guy who he calls the Master, and the Master basically tells him that they've kind of come out of hiding because the West has discovered nuclear weapons. So he gives him, they basically give him an ultimatum to not use nuclear weapons and to tell the West not to use nuclear weapons. This part's kind of funny. So after he leaves, and is kind of escorted out by the Nazi UFOs, which is what this is right here. After he does that, they tell him, "We are leaving you now, Admiral. Your controls are free. Auf Wiedersehen."
So they're just nice. All
Yeah.
right.
So, yeah, that's kind of his journal. There's a lot more. I suggest looking into it. But basically, basically he ran into either the Agarthians who had kind of integrated with the Nazis, or the Nazis had kind of taken the technology and built a utopia under Antarctica, more or less. I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. So that's Admiral Byrd's account of what happened. And there's a whole lot of other stuff, like I think Eisenhower was president after this. And I think his daughter says that Eisenhower like acknowledged aliens and stuff, or knew about stuff like this. Anywho,
So we're coming up with so many different topics that we can talk about next.
yeah, there's
I
a
honestly
lot of
love
rabbit
this.
holes.
Yeah, I love this stuff.
And so the final operation I'll talk about, and from everything I could find, this is kind of considered to be kind of the end of Base 211. So Operation Argus was 3 nuclear detonations that the U.S. did over Antarctica. The official reason is that it was to test the Christophilus effect, which was basically detonating nukes in space or in low orbit that would create kind of a radiation zone above a certain area that would disrupt radio signals.
Oh, so like
Um,
an EMP, pretty much.
Yeah, basically using an EMP, and they were intending it to be kind of an anti-Soviet nuclear tool, I guess. So it would kind of, fry the nukes if the Soviets were using them. So this is in 1958. So 12 years, no, 13 years after World War II ended. But proponents of this theory say that Operation Argus was actually just a cover for America nuking Base 211 in Antarctica and wiping out the Nazi presence there.
That I could believe that 100%.
So,
I mean, who's gonna go down there and out? Like, really?
yeah. So,
sorry to interrupt. Is it
no, you're
actually a
good.
fact that the Nazis were on Antarctica?
Yes. So,
Wow.
but my presentation's done. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So yeah, the Nazis did go to Antarctica. They did. New Schwabia is a thing. Like it's after the war, or after the Germans left, they kept the name, I guess. So if you were to go look at Antarctica, that's like a cartographic name of the region is New Swabia, because of the ship, the Schwabenland and stuff.
Yeah.
People say that there's no base in New Swabia, that the Nazis didn't have time to build a base. However, later, I think fairly recently, like after the 2000s, they did find a Nazi bunker in Antarctica that had like ammunition and some supplies and stuff.
Oh, really?
Mhm. But I think it had to be evacuated because they like got food poisoning or something like that. So
Rip.
if we're not going into like the conspiratorial sources, like the thing that I read, because
Right.
the Admiral Byrd's diary could be true, might not be. The the what's it called? The website is not very. Here, I'll share my screen just one more time so you can see what I was reading from. It's this is what the website looks like.
Cite your sources.
Yeah, hollowearthresearch.org. So super high tech.
Well, there you go. There you have it, folks.
So basic rundown: the Nazis went to Antarctica, set up a base, found the hollow earth, and got space age technology from the Agarthians, and then the West tried to destroy them and ended up having to nuke them in order to get rid of them. That's the theory.
That was a very well put together presentation. I love that.
We should have had you go last. Save the
I
best
know.
for last.
No, it's okay. We should probably move on. But I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Anybody?
Logan, what did you think?
What do you think
You've
about
been
them
awful
aliens,
quiet.
bro?
I want to go to Antarctica now.
Yeah, go defrost your own territory of
Yeah, maybe we could
Antarctica.
start the second impact or something.
Whoa, don't go that far.
I'm noticing a trend here. We just want to go, like, we really just want to go to islands and just take them over is what we want to do.
Yeah, our last podcast.
Yes.
Once we have dominated all the South China Sea, we'll move on to the Antarctic.
Reference the first episode for people who didn't watch the first one.
Everybody,
watched
go
the
to
first one.
go to the last episode now.
There'll be a
Go
link
watch
in the
it,
video
please.
below.
Yeah. No, the thing that turned me onto this theory was actually an Oompaville video. He was looking at TikToks, and one of them was like the oh frick, what's the guy's name? Green Goblin from Spider-Man. What's that actor's name?
James Franco. Oh no, that's his son.
No,
Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe.
Willem
Yeah.
Dafoe. Thank you. It's that meme of Willem Dafoe, like, looking up at the sky, like, and it was like, POV, you're a U.S. sailor going to Antarctica when a UFO bearing Nordic symbols wipes out half your fleet or something like that. I was like, ooh, this would be good for the podcast.
That's a very niche meme. Like, who's gonna get that?
Yeah, I didn't get it right away.
Yeah.
But
Everybody who has seen that meme, you need to listen to this podcast now. Listen to it
right this
now.
instant.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. I think we should continue on the Hollow Earth subject sometime. Maybe
I had
explore that.
So the person that delivers material to our work, he's a crazy conspiracy theorist, like an actually crazy one. And one day he came up to me and he's like, "Did you know in what is it, Vernal or something like that?" He says there's a hole in Vernal to the Hollow Earth, and that there's a bunch of like giants and mammoths and like humanoid alien-esque creatures down there. I was like, boy, what the hell?
He's
Like,
just
That'd
talking about
actually
the
be kind of
museum.
cool.
I love my conspiracy theories, but that's a bit far from me. And like he was like he had like all long hair, looked homeless, but
He's actually just talking about the gift shop.
Guys,
They got all
He's
these
like, they got
mammoth looking
mammoths
things.
in there, they got dinosaurs. And there's a hole that goes down. So the bathroom. Yeah.
He's actually just like some autistic fellow.
Oh
he was
goodness.
describing a dream.
Right. His fever dream.
Honestly,
Of the
they kind of
Hollow
be
Earth.
like that sometimes. Start having dreams of pyramids and like weird Egyptian symbols.
Yeah, dude. I think the giants that live in the middle of the earth are called like the Nephilim. I think that's in the Bible. Like, no joke.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's
I've heard of
something
that before.
if we want to have a deep dive on the Hollow Earth theory.
If somebody watches this and they have like a really good topic that we should cover, post it in the comment section. We'd like to see what people want to watch, because I'm sure we can come up with stuff all day long, but I'd like to get other people's opinions on what we can do.
See, the key part of that was if somebody watches this.
There will be people watching this.
I'll watch it.
If you can tell, Bjorn, we got 2 new subscribers today. 2.
Wait, for
Two?
real? We did?
Yep,
Oh,
2
what
more.
the fuck?
Nice.
Check right
2
now.
more
We
of
got
our
2
own
more.
accounts.
So I think now we have
Those are my
100
burners.
subscribers. Dude, we ought to do a merch.
Bro,
We
yeah,
have
we
to do
are.
merch. We got 7 official people. Come on, guys.
So
It's just gonna keep
to be
getting better
clear-
and better from here.
to be clear,
It will.
I subscribed twice. Andrew subscribed. Brayden subscribed. Logan subscribed. So those were our OG 5. Is everyone here? But we got 2 more.
And
That's
two
pretty crazy.
people that I found.
Oh, they were from you?
Yeah. I've
That's
been
funny.
tempted to tell my boss about it. I'm like, hey, I just started a podcast. You should listen, but I'm worried he'll listen and just judge the shit out of me. He'd be like, so this is what you do with your free time? You sit down and talk with your friends about weird creatures and Nazis in Antarctica?
You might as well tell him you play like Dungeons and Dragons. It'll be easier to explain.
So I was playing D&D
Or
with
to-
my buddies, and
Yeah.
yeah. Jeez, man.
Should we move on to the next one? Or